Okay.
How you doing, Brent?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our agenda meeting. I know it looks a little empty up here, but we have all the other three commissioners have some obligations, and I think Commissioner Howell is online or going to be online. So I don't see him online. Well, he'll be joining us. Meanwhile, uh, take it away.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Welcome back from the air show. Good that you showed up today. We'd have been all by ourselves. Appreciate you. Nicole, why don't you give us good news for the June 25th meeting?
Good morning. We will receive a flood update from Julie Stimson in Emergency Management. She will talk about kind of obviously what happened, but then also some potential resources that could be available. The non-emergency line for fireworks or other disturbances over the Independence holiday will open up on June 27th. So we will talk about that. And that's all I have for today.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. After consideration of minutes, we have a number of appointments. C and D, our resignation from Chairman Beatty's Township Board in Valley Center. So he'll have to have two replacements coming forth there. Item E is a resignation from the Intellectual and Development Disabilities Advisory Board. That's also an appointment for Chairman Beatty. F and G are F is a resignation from the Citizens Advisory Board in District 4, and then item G is the replacement for that position. So those are both Chairman Beatty's items. H and I are Solid Waste Management Committee position appointments, one by Commissioner Howell and then one by Susan Erlenwine. And then we have item J and K are Juvenile Corrections Advisory Board at-large appointments. And I know Steve Stonehouse sent all the commissioners an email on that last week recommending these two people. One is a reappointment, one is a new appointment. Okay. There's 5 new business items. Item L is a conditional use in the county to allow accessory apartment on a property zone rural residential in District 5. And I don't see Scott here, but if there's any questions, we'll get information on that. Item M is Dr. Brantley will be here and Tim will introduce it, but it's the Extension Center update, the annual update for that activity. Item N, Sheena will present a resolution appointing an interim county appraiser, and then there is a item on consent regarding that item of compensation. And item O is bringing back a bid board item from March 6th. That was the audiovisual equipment request at Household Hazardous Waste. That is now ready to come back. So that will be presented by Joe, and Andrew Diltz will be there, and I'm sure Susan will be there too. So we'll pick that up finally. And then item P is the new bid board items. There were 5 items total. An A&E services contract for ComCare, a door control upgrade for a JDF, Alexis AI product for the counselor's office. Item 4 was a dead animal removal contract from Animal Control, and item 5 was an AT&T contract update from 911. And we had 17 consent items. Q is a zone request change at 53rd, and actually Q and R are both requests that are around the 53rd Meridian area. No, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Q is 53rd and RID. That's a zone change from SF20 to LC. Item R is a vacation request to vacate a portion of a platted setback to allow a carport. And is Lynn here? Yeah. I might have look at Lynn on S and T. These are CIP amendments. Both of these have to do with 119th and 35th. So Lynn, can you cover quickly S and T?
Sure thing. Item S is a CIP amendment for increasing funding for project R364, which is the 29th Street North between 119th and 135th Street West. That is the engineering for reconstructing that corridor of road. We worked with the consultants, and the proposals that came in, they were higher than we anticipated. And we also ended up negotiating some additional work into that contract. So we're seeking additional funds to be able to cover that work, as well as the higher than expected engineering fees. We have found that engineering fees over the last 2 years have increased much higher than we had anticipated. We had anticipated some increases, but across the board, we've talked with our partners and other municipalities, and they're all seeing the same thing with the increases. Item T is engineering is the contract that will go along with item S for the agreement. We need to get the money approved first, and then we can approve the contract for the engineer to get their agreement approval.
Thanks, Lynn. Questions?
I see Commissioner Howell, you were on, I think. So feel free to speak up.
Yeah, right. I'm still trying to absorb what's just been said, so I'm not ready to ask any questions here, but I may have questions before Wednesday, so
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, items U and V are ComCare items. V is a amendment to the KDAS 988 operational grant. That's a grant funded agreement. And I might have Tim talk about item U, which is a consider of an overflow SOW.
Statement of work. Yeah, Overflow is the organization that has helped ComCare introduce Zero Reasons Why. It's a teen suicide prevention program, and it's active in a number of school districts here within the county, Wichita, and multiple suburban school districts. It's a really effective program to get kids engaged in addressing mental health issues.
Okay, let me jump down to item W. That is a grant application for almost $707,000 from KDOC to the Sedgwick County Juvenile Detention Center Behavioral Health Services, and that's for mental health care for kids and those in custody. And that is just a grant application. X is an anonymous donation to the health department. Y, and I might look to Lindsay on this. I think this is her financial system item. It's a request for budget transfer for technology contingency and operating reserve funds to ERP within the division of IT. So Lindsay and Scott are both here, but I'll let Lindsay go. I think it's your project, right?
It is. So you all, the two of you here may remember that we had gone down one path for an updated financial system. Our system's been in place since 2002, and it's going end of life here in the next couple of years. And when we actually started using that system, we were going to be the first government in the United States to use it, and it just didn't have what we needed in terms of budget controls. And so we had to pivot, and now we're implementing a different system. Because of the timing on that, it was actually approved at the end of last year. We had some milestones that we actually thought we would pay in 2020, but that would require us to pay more in 2024 than we actually did. So now we're doing the transfer for this year. It's just a little over 1.5 million. That's why we're cleaning out the technology contingency and have just a little bit to take from the operating reserve. And this should allow us to pay for the project, which we're intending to go live with at the end of October. So a necessary expenditure approved through TRB and all of that, just kind of weird in terms of timing. So any questions or concerns we can talk through?
Thanks for the explanation.
Okay. Z and double letter A are policies. Z are HR policies, and Sheena's here if there's questions, but regarding employee probation and benefits, I think she's briefed all commissioners on that, and the actual policies are in the backup information if citizens would like to look at that. AA is a resolution for updated accounting policies. And Lindsay and Hope's accounting team, I think, briefed commissioners a couple of weeks ago. These are P-card policy, travel expense policy, business-related expense policy, and mileage reimbursements, all to tighten up and with collaboration with our auditor to tighten up the policies to manage that appropriately. So if there's questions, I think Lindsay can probably field those here. AB is the request for interim assignment pay adjustment that I mentioned under this for the interim appraiser position. And item AC is a request to, we're hiring a new park superintendent within range, but as is often the case when you bring in people from other organizations, he is requesting a 40-hour vacation bank, and that is, this item is to approve that. The rest of the items on consent are routine business. There is a fire agenda, and the chief is here if there's questions. There's in addition to meeting approval on consent agenda, there are 5 consent items. One is a grant application consideration for just under $30,000 from OxyChem for first responder donation program. C and D are both budget authority items. C is to establish budget authority in the amount of just less than $500,000 into the Fire Special Equipment Fund. And Chief, I'll do the best I can on this, and you may have to clean it up, but it's to replace PPEs and cancer-causing types of equipment that fire historically has been using, and now with new research and new methodology, this is becoming clear that needs to be replaced. These are NFPA standard types of equipment that the fire department would buy with that money. Similarly, item D is to establish budget authority in amount of almost $226,000 in again to the Fire District Special Equipment Fund, and this is for woodland fire fighting gear. And there's a matching grant on this as well. So we're paying $225,000, and then they got a $225,000 grant as well. So this is almost $450,000 worth of equipment to enhance some of their fire tactics operationally. And if the chief is here, for those of you who are remote, I'm sure he would be glad. He doesn't have crutches, but I'm sure he'd be glad to come up and respond to any questions.
Well, Chief, respectful of the others that are not here, can you just be ready for to explain all these on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh, probably. I guess new business, we can pull them. They're just sizable amounts of money.
Okay.
I think it's worth explanation.
Good with that, Chief? New business? Okay, we'll pull for the group, we'll pull C and D
Yeah.
and put that on new business.
Okay.
The single item, or we'll make it 2 business items, 2 new business items.
Right. Okay.
Item E is the same personnel policies that were on the regular agenda. And same with item F. Those are, we all live under the same finance policy. So that fire agenda contains that same policy revision. So that is it for fire and regular agenda.
Okay. Well, as many of you know, I was out of town this week, but thank you for the communication, Scott. Good job on the IT world and that crisis. I'm sure it was, I didn't feel it where I was, but you guys felt it. And Lynn, thanks for the updates on the wind damage. I do have a couple of people asking about, what are we going to have a place? What's the schedule there on a place for people to take debris and branches?
We did find out yesterday that City of Wichita is opening Brooks landfill this weekend, Saturday in particular, 8 to 2, as well as some other smaller communities have opened up their burn sites as well. And that's something for I will be discussing with commissioners today and early next week.
Okay.
About the possibility. We hope to have our west yard out from underwater later today. We're actively pumping 2 different sites and have been, but we received significant damage at our west yard that is hampering our efforts right now. But we're hoping to have some options available.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I know those both were pretty good crises, but I think it's real helpful, especially the commission, that you guys keep all the departments when there's something urgent, keeping us in the loop is really helpful. So thank you.
Sir, the City of Wichita actually recently shared that they're going to be running their free debris drop off starting Saturday through next Friday, the 27th.
Oh, okay.
So it's been expanded during business hours at Brooks Landfill.
Okay. All right. We ought to have that as maybe on the updates. Okay. What else? Anything else? Anybody? Hope everybody enjoyed their day off in the middle of the week yesterday. That's kind of unusual, but that's what we have. So. Oh, Commissioner Howell?
No, thank you, Commissioner Meister. I'm actually good. I appreciate the chance to do this by Zoom today. I had a number of things down south I had to take care of this morning, so appreciate the flexibility and welcome back.
Yeah, well, we'll catch up on that too. So, okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Getting there myself, applying. Well, they'll move me. What do you like to do? I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't